All right, so we can just start lying on our backs today, please. So come and lie all the way down. Onto your back with your knees bent up. Feet flat to the floor. Just have a little wriggle until everything feels comfortable. Arms relax down your sides. Shoulders broaden and fall towards the ground. And just think about the position of your head so that your neck feels nice and long and there's a bit of space around the crotch. Spread your toes. Let your arms feel heavy, barely dropping in. It feels like a bit of an effort to keep your knees bent up, and you can press them together with your feet a bit wider. All we're going to do is turn our attention to our breath. So see if you can just breathe through your nose, if possible. Drawing the breath nice and deep all the way down into your belly. And releasing out really slowly and softly, without any force or effort. So all we're really doing is redirecting our attention so that we can focus internally. Helps us to be more present, just focusing on what's here and leaving everything else behind. Don't be afraid to make a sound when you breathe. Just getting a sense of where you feel your breath moving into your body. We're trying to encourage the breath to move all the way down into the belly area, into the abdomen, and even into the lower back area. So we're not just thinking about it being in the front of the body, but also into the back of the lungs and down into the lower back. So big full breaths. Notice if you tend to clench your jaw or if there's any other kind of tension or tightness around your neck, shoulders, face. Let everything start to soften down as you become more aware. So this is the easiest and quickest way to let your body calm down, to find a little stillness, quietness, and clarity. Just a couple more breaths. And then starting with a small amount of movement, you're just going to turn the head over to one side. Just let it rest there. You might feel a bit of a stretch down through your neck or some kind of response around the neck or shoulders. And then coming up through center, we'll just take it to the other side. Notice if it feels any different, if there's any pulling in the muscles. Over to the first side again. Just rolling across the back of the head. Let your head feel heavy. And to the second side again. And coming up through center, so getting centered. Move your arms a little bit further from your body and drop the knees over to one side, keeping your feet touching the ground. Notice what you feel here, how your body responds. If there's maybe a bit of pulling up into the trunk of the body, maybe at the front of the hip, maybe the quad muscle, or even the groin and the thighs. It's going to feel different to everybody. Bringing these through center and lowering to the other side. So see if this side feels any different. It can be helpful to notice the differences in each side of the body. Knowing that it's unlikely that any of us are perfectly symmetrical. Coming to the first side again, you might even like to turn your head to the opposite direction. That's good. Focusing attention on your breath again. Fully in to the lower belly, lower back area. And over to the other side, knees and head. Okay, let's reset through centre, bring your hands to your thighs, slide up to your knees, and very gently go the knees in towards you. So you might feel your lower back flashing out into the ground a bit more. And attention to our toes, give them a wriggle, spread them pretty wide. And then we'll start to circle ankles. So they might be circling or pedaling up and down, whatever feels best to you. If you get a bit of clicking, that's perfectly normal. Or if you don't, that's normal too. And then just start to straighten up one leg and then the other, so kind of cycling through the legs. Don't be afraid to put your feet all the way up to the air. Maybe even a bit of twisting as well, might feel good. Don't worry about what it looks like, just go with how it feels. Like as big as you want. You might even think about turning the whole leg within the hip side. And make the movement smaller again, bring the knees in, and attention to our hands, so circling wrists one way and the other, so you're floating here. And wriggle fingers, so you might even get a bit clicking in the wrists too. One way and the other. Start to bring movement into the elbows, so circling, bending, straightening. Okay, and then sweeping my arms all the way overhead. And bring feet to the ground. We're going to slide one leg out long, and then the other, taking a huge full body stretch. You might feel your lower back arch away from the ground. Push your toes as far away from your fingers as you can. And then get the knees up to your chest. Plant your feet to the ground, so just like how we started. But this time we're going to keep a gap between the knees. We're not resting them together. Think about your feet, knees and hips all being about the same distance apart from each other widthwise. Okay, now bring your hands to your hips so that your fingers are just at the edges of your belly. So got your fingers hooked over your hip bones. Keep your shoulders and elbows relaxed to the ground. So if you can feel with your fingers the fronts of your hips, we just want to creep the fingers in a few little finger steps. And then gently press your lower back towards the ground, just a slight movement until you can feel some tension beneath your fingers. So we're not focusing on the tension being at the middle of the belly, we want it just to be slightly out more towards the hips. Okay, so once you've got that little activation beneath your fingertips, we're just going to float one foot off the ground without moving the hips. And then touch that foot back down and to the other side. So float the foot off, just keep the knee where it is. So it takes a little bit of effort in the abs to hold that position, touch the foot down. We're just going to keep switching from one foot to the other. So let's breathe in as we touch the feet down and breathe out as we lift the next foot off the ground. And let's just do about one more on each side. And then we'll take a little break, so land the feet and just let everything relax again. And then we'll feel that activation beneath the fingertips. There's that little bit of tension that might be pressing the lower back towards the ground. Both feet lift off the ground, so it's going to be a little bit more challenging now, pressing into the abs just inside the hips. And then touching one foot to the floor, just tap toes without losing that activation. And then lift up and come to the other side. So tap and lift. Make sure you're still breathing. And so we're not holding the breath. Slowly tapping down and up. Down and up. And let's just do two more to each side. Okay, and keep knees up over hips. And just release the hands and bring them, interlace your fingers, bring your hands behind your feet, lift your foot off. We're going to tuck the elbows in, so we're hugging your forearms right up close to your head. Try to keep that same activation in the abs. You're feeling internally this time. We're going to just slowly lift, lifting the back of the head into your hands, but lift your shoulders off the ground, and then lower back down. Now, if that feels really challenging, you can bring your toes to the floor, and then just slowly back some room, lifting shoulder blades off the ground, and then lower back down. Just lift where you can. You might get a few little shakes if you're feeling a bit fatigued. Lifting with the out breath, the elbows tucked in place, and lie back down with the in breath. Let's just do a couple more of these. We want to make sure that we're not lifting with the head, so press the back of your feet into your hands. And release that down. And this time bring, so we've got knees up to top of the ground. Curl on up, hold, and hold on to the tops of your knees and tuck them in close. So I want you to focus on keeping the abs active and make sure you're not using your head. You're trying to keep the shoulders off without straining the neck in any way. Then extend one leg out long, both hands come to the bench. Switching to the other side. So staying up if you can, but if you feel really fatigued or if you're straining your neck, you can lower that down into the ground. If you can, try to lift up. Breathing in as you switch, breathing out as you extend. In to switch, out to extend. Let's just do one more to each side. Okay, we are almost done. Lie back, bring your knees up over your hips, arms out wide, bring them in line with your shoulders, anchor your shoulders to the ground and press the backs of your hands to the floor. And you're lowering knees over to one side, just halfway. So move slowly, keep your shoulders into the ground, and then come back up through center, lower over to the other side. So you might find you can only come a small angle across, which is fine, but you're going to focus on moving with control. So keep moving from one side to the other. Taking a breath in as we come through center, and breath out to lower. So to make it a bit easier, knees can be closer to you, or to make it more challenging, knees can be further away, so long as you're not letting your back arch away from the ground. You're using the out breath to lower, keep the shoulders connected to the ground. Focus on what's happening in the abs. And also think about where your breath is moving to. So are you breathing really shallow into the chest? Or could you direct your breath, invite it all the way down into your belly and lower back area? We'll just do one more on each side. Okay, and the knees come up towards you when you're done. Holding one hand to each knee. And just gather in. Let everything relax. Then roll over to one side and come up to a seated position. Into cross legs. Come and have a little wriggle so we're sitting nice and even. That was warming, at least. Hands on your knees. So you might be cupping your knees if it feels like you're moving backwards. Try to sit nice and tall. Just close your eyes or soften your eye gaze so you can internalize your focus. Draw your shoulders wide and then fall away from ears. Think about lengthening all the way up to the crown of the head. Letting your hips gently open as the knees drop down. Think about where your breath moves to in your body. So is it naturally just coming into the chest, or can you invite it all the way down into your lower abdomen? And breathe down into the space around the lower back. So all that work we've just done for the core, can we hold on to that slight bit of tension so that it's nice and strong and stable. Sense of lengthening up through back of the neck. So there's a sense of buoyancy in your body. And then letting your eyes close open. Sweep your arms up with an in-breath. And then open wide with the out-breath, turning your thumbs back and out. Coming forward and up with the in-breath. Out and open. Forward and up. And out. Let's do this one more time. And this time put fingertips all the way down, touching the floor, shoulders broaden. You might like to flatten your palms to the ground, try not to scrunch into the pose. You're going to be lifting from the center of the chest. Broaden across your shoulders, your shoulder blades pull together, press knees down and out. And to bring forward from hips, let your fingertips in front of you. Think about shifting forward from your hips so that we're not curling through the spine. So we're really long through the belly. Make sure you're not dropping your head, so keep it long through the back of the neck as well. Just a couple of breaths here. And then walk your hands over to one side and lean out over your thigh. Okay, the hand that's furthest in front will float that up. So lifting your chest, pull back to the diagonal, arm up, and then reverse it. So come up and over and reach forward. Sweep around to the other side, and let's just lean in here. Stay for another breath. And then the hand that's forward, let's sweep it up and over, pull it back to the diagonal. And come over, reaching forward, sweep around to the other side, and let's keep it moving. So the hand that's in front comes up and over, pulls back, over and reach forward. Circle around, lift. Just breathing naturally. Whenever it feels best to breathe in and to breathe out at what stage of the movement. Let's do just a couple more. So we'll go for one more to each side. Let's even things up. All right, come over to your hands and knees. Do your reading. Okay. Plant your hands, spread your fingers out wide, stack your knees under your hips. So really press down into your hands, move your shoulders away from your head. So just like when we were seated and when we were lying on our back, think about that same position, lengthening all the way from the tailbone to the ground of the head without dropping head. And that little bit of activation in the abs to support your position. Nice and long through the trunk of the body. Right, power down into your hands, bring your weight slightly forward. So we're rocking forward over the hands, and then shift back into your hips. Coming forward, so power down into your hands. Think about lengthening your chest forward, and then shift back. Going forward, press into the tops of your feet. And back. Check in with your torso, so the trunk of the body. Make sure you're still in a nice long line. And then reset into a neutral position. Let's all go up the same leg. Step your right foot just outside your hand and a little bit further forward. So it's about a whole foot step forward. You might be up on your fingertips. If you can't quite reach fingertips to the ground, you can always be resting on your thigh. Good. So if you feel like you need to be a bit higher on the pose, if you feel really tight, there's an option for you. Or you might step that on the hands. Now make sure that you're keeping your heel. So as we come forward in the hips, we've got the knee tracking over the heel so that we're not floating back here. All right, so right hand reaches forward, coming up and over, and pull back to the diagonal. Sweep over and down, reaching forward, up and over and down. And one more time. So keep up, lengthening forward, turning your shoulders and pulling back, over and down. Make it back onto our hands and knees. Let's do the other side. So just outside the hand and a bit further forward. So you might want to just help it forward or take a big extra step. Down flat, up on fingertips, or you can be higher. So easy in, let's take a moment here. Breathing into the pose. Breathe into the lower back area. And we'll reach your down, up and over, and pull it back. Over and down, so we'll do this 3 times. Forward and over. Over and down. And one more time, so really looking forward, turn your shoulders, pull back, and reverse it. All right, move back onto your knees. This time, tucking your toes under, lift your knees off the ground, so we're in a plank. We're going to think about being long through the torso, so we're not dropping the hips, we're not making a hard bridge, you're going to be nice and long, and then shift your weight forward over your hands. And then pull back to a crouch. So take a deep knee bend, belly towards thighs. And then coming forward, feel all the weight come into your hands. You can bring your knees to the floor at any point if you need to. Sit back to your crouch. Coming forward. And back. And let's just do one more. Coming forward. Pull it back. And then walk your feet up to your hands into a forward fold. So step your feet at hip distance apart from each other, so everything's aligned again from your pelvis to your knees to your feet, all around that hip distance apart. So starting to very generously bend, let the belly come over your thighs and relax your head and shoulders. You might even like to take hold of your elbows or wrists, forearms. Get everything you can. Okay, bring your fingertips to the floor and stick your feet closer together. Bring your hands up to your thighs. Take a deep knee bend, so the hips back and down. Sweep arms up. Rise and float arms down to the sides. All right, so just take a moment here. So you might even close your eyes and soften your eye gaze just to feel the alignment in your body. That can get more challenging when you've got your feet together, because you might feel like you're kind of swaying from side to side. Bring your hands to your hips, just like we do when we're lying on the ground. So we're just creeping the fingers in from the hip points again, and feel that little bit of tension beneath your fingertips, and see how that changes your pose. So breathing into the space in the lower back, breathing deeply into the torso, just by activating the TBAs here, you can feel the strength and stability in your body. All right, float your right knee up without changing anything else. We're just going to hold it there. So you can always touch down if you need to. Try not to let the hips sway out to one side, so you want to stay nice and level, so you can hands on your hips. And then step down. Without changing anything, come to the other side. So knee floats off, doesn't have to be high. You can even keep the toes on the floor if you need to. Step feet together. And sweep arms forward and high. Soften knees, open wide, from hips to a forward fold. Bring hands up to your thighs, make a deep knee bend. Sweep arms up. Stand tall and drop arms at your sides. Okay, hands come to your hips. Float the right knee off, so you're going to go to the same side, right knee. Make sure that it's sway out so that you keep everything nice and centered. And when you feel steady, reach your arms forward and back. Hold right here. Then open wide with your thumbs back, tipping forward, and extend your leg behind you. Pull your arms right back if you're reaching for your back leg. Arms down as we come through, knee lifts again. And step down. Okay, come to the other side, so keep it nice and smooth. Wait till you start with hands and hips. We're doing the other side, so eventually lifts without moving anything else. That little bit of activation in the TBA, just at the side of the hip points. When you're steady, sweep arms up. Hold right here. And then float arms wide, start to tip forward, extend your leg behind, and hold your arms back. Okay, step down. Sweep your arms up. This time, bring the arms behind your back, interlace your fingers, lift your chest. Try not to let the ribs flare out, so you can just be nicely contained at the front of the body. Little squeeze in the glutes and push the knuckles down, chest. And then bend your knees, tip from hips into a forward fold. So if it's challenging on the shoulders or if there's any discomfort, you could hold on to your wrists or just lightly lift the hands behind. Okay, arms hang. Bring hands to your thighs. Sit hips back and down, sweep arms up. Let's drop even deeper into our pose. Try not to pop this forward, so we want to stay contained. And then stand tall. And drop arms at your sides. This time, moving arms and knee together. So right knee lifts. Open wide and then clasp hands behind your back. Or if it doesn't feel good for your shoulders, just leave your arms behind as we tip forward. This time, stepping the back foot down, lift your chest and bend the back knee. So try to keep your torso contained, same way that we've been working through every other pose. Keep pushing the knuckles down if you've got the hands linked. If not, keep your arms at the sides. Hold and breathe as put that back knee even lower. And then we'll reverse everything. So shifting away forward, straighten back leg, float it off. Release your hands, knee comes through, sweep arms up. And step down and come to the other side. So left knee. Open wide, clasp if you can, tip from hips. Keeping your hips square to the ground, a little bit of the standing knee. Step down, tip the back knee low. So tilting tailbone down and lift through the belly. Good. Hold for another breath. And let's reverse out. So shifting forward, back leg lifts. Release the hands, coming up. And dive into your forward fold. We're just going to do that whole sequence one more time. So coming up, hands to thighs, take deeply bend, try to rock back into your heels, sweep arms up. Sit deep on the out breath. Stand tall and drop arms at your sides. Let's keep flowing right to the lifts. Hands behind, clasp, dive, step down, pull back, bend the back knee deeply. Kind of then float your eye gaze a little bit higher so you do not open the front ribs, stay nice and contained. And then reverse it, move forward, lift, release the hands, coming up, then step down to the other side. It's just one more round. There we go. Breathing in, breathing out. Tip. Try to lift your arms off your back body. Step down, tip the back knee, hold and breathe. Bring forward, lift, rise. Stay standing, just step your feet under your hips, or even a little bit slightly wider, so maybe under your shoulders. Hands come to your hips, so just take a moment to reposition, or even close your eyes so you can really sense what's happening underneath your fingertips. And then come into a side stretch, so release one arm, and bring it up and over. Hold. Hands to hips. Out. Other side. Over. So think about being long through both sides of the trunk of the body. And if you like, you could do it without hands on hips, so just floating arm down, reaching over, try not to crunch your side body, so stay nice and long. And over. Okay, and float down, hands come behind, so you can just loosely hold the hands, or you could have them gripping together, or you could just gently hold on to the forearms. Take a breath in, so you can lift and lengthen. And with the out breath, soften knees to from hips. And release arms over behind, towards the back of your head. Okay, let the arms go, let them hang loose. You might want to just gently sway from side to side, maybe bend one knee and straighten the other. Okay, then scoot one leg under, come and take a seat, soles of the feet come together. Knees fall open, hands come behind, lift your chest. Press your legs down and out. And then tipping forward from hips, holding onto your shins or your feet, or maybe wrapping your toes, leaning forward. So focus on lengthening your body forward so that we're not curving to the spine. We've got the movement happening from the hips. Just a few breaths here, but think about where your breath moves to in your body. Drawing it all the way down to your lower abdomen, to your lower back. And then come and turn over, knees together, and lie onto your back. Feet flat, knees bent up, arms swelling down the sides of your body. And again, we'll keep knees and feet around hip distance apart from each other. So think about being on tracks, little gap between the knees. Spread your toes. Plant the backs of your arms into the ground. And we'll slowly lift hips off. So think about lengthening from your shoulders out to your knees. You might even like to bring your hands to your hips just for a little bit more support if you need it. Or you can clasp your hands on the ground. You can just leave them nice and long on the ground. But relaxing through your throat, so there's no strain. If you start to fatigue, you can come back down and lift again. So we're just going to hold it for a few more breaths. Really focus on the length. So it's not about how high your hips get. We want to think about creating a long line from the shoulders out to the knees. Let's stay for one more breath in. And then lower down slowly. Move your arms a bit wider from your body and drop the knees over to one side, keep your feet touching the floor. You maybe want to turn your head to the opposite side. Coming through centre and lower to the other side. To the first side again. Use all of your out breath as you lower. And an in breath through centre, out breath to lower. Coming back through centre, and hands come to your thighs, sliding up to your knees. Just gather your knees in really gently so we're not pulling them in tight. Bring your right thigh over to the left thigh, so just crossing over at thighs. One hand on top of each knee and gently draw your knees towards your body, towards your torso, keeping the back of the hips on the ground. See if you can feel a stretch down the outer hip. We've got it on the right outer hip area. Just gently pulling towards you, let your feet flare out to the sides. Just hold and breathe. Keep the shoulders relaxed, especially around your throat and your jaw and your face. Release the tension really slowly as you switch out of it. And cross and bring the left leg over the top, hands to your knees, and tug gently in towards your body. Come out really slowly again. And bring your big toes together, open the knees wide, reach up from the inside to grab hold of your shins. If you can reach further up, take hold of your ankles, but make sure that the back of the pelvis is still connected to the ground, so we're actively pressing down. Knees falling open, shoulders broaden, so gut broadening across your chest, and head is relaxed. Invite your breath all the way down to your lower torso. And you can stay here for a bit longer or move into baby baby, where we grab hold of the soles of the feet or anywhere on the shins. Lift heels above your knees. Again, make sure the back of the hips are pressing towards the ground. And knees just start to move down towards outer ribs. Relaxing throat, chest, shoulders, belly. Let the back of the head rest. Let it feel heavy. And then bring soles of the feet together, slowly lower, feet to the ground, with knees open wide. Arms just relax at your sides, shoulders broaden. Or if this doesn't feel great for you, especially around the groin area or in the thighs or the lower back, then you can either straighten your legs out or place your feet to the floor and bend the knees up, or even resting together like we did at the start. We're only here for a couple of minutes, so drop on in, breathing through your nose if you can. Inviting your breath all the way down, lower abdomen, lower back area. Fill all that space. Allow your face to relax, unclench your jaw, soften around your throat. Let your breath flow with ease. Stay easy out for just a couple more breaths. Hold on to this feeling of stillness, calmness, clarity. And then when you're ready to move again, sweep your arms overhead on the ground above you. One leg at a time, extend out long. Put your toes as far away from your fingers as you can. And then curl up small again, gathering knees towards your chest, lightly wrap them in. Roll on over to your own side before coming all the way up. Give a little shuffle, sit up tall, hands to the knees. Broaden across shoulders, lengthen up to the crown of the head. Easy breaths. And then with your next breath in, float arms forward and up. Open wide and down. We're going to do one more, forward and up. Bring hands together and lower down to the center. Thank you so much for having me.